Hi there, Jesse here with eTrailer. Today we'll be taking a look at and I'll show you how to install the eTrailer custom fit hitch on our 2015 Ford Transit T250. These transit vans are really popular work vehicles, so you can always use some extra storage on a work truck. So you can add some extra storage, whether it be a cargo carrier or even do some towing with it. These are also really popular overlanding rigs, so space is really key when you're setting up a rig like that. Here's a closer look at our hitch installed on our T250. You can see the nice matte black powder coat finish we have. It's going to have a standard 2" by 2" receiver opening. Then behind that, a 5/8" pinhole. The pin and clip are not included with the hitch. However, we have many options available here at eTrailer. Also, any accessory that you add on will most likely come with one included. And we have some nice sturdy safety cable loops here. Super easy to access with whatever style safety cable you might have. Now for some measurements for your ground clearance. From the ground to the top of the inside of the collar is right at about 15 inches. And then from the center of the pinhole to the edge of the outer bumper here is about 8.5 inches. You'll want to keep that in mind for any folding accessories you might add on to make sure they don't make contact with the vehicle. Now for the weight capacities with this hitch, we have a gross trailer weight of 6,000 pounds. That's the amount of weight that you can pull behind the vehicle. Our maximum tongue weight will be 900 pounds. That's the amount of weight pushing down on the hitch. You do have the ability to use weight distribution when towing with this hitch. That'll bump your gross trailer weight up to 8,000 pounds, but your tongue weight will stay the same. Always be sure to double check your Ford's owner's manual to ensure that your Transit can handle that weight safely. All in all, if you're looking to add a hitch to your Transit van, I really like the eTrailer option. That matte black powder coat finish looks great. Even though this bottom panel here is kind of beat up, it's still nice to have a good looking hitch on it. As for the installation, it's really a pretty simple process. However, there are some holes there that you may have to tap or use the hardware to get threads in. So if it's not something that you're looking to do yourself, maybe you don't have the time, the space, or the tools to do so, feel free to check out our dealer locator. If you are looking to get this set up yourself, then just follow along and I'll show you how we got ours set up. Also, if you've installed this hitch on your vehicle and you just want to share some tips or tricks with us, or you just want to share some photos of what you're using your Transit van to haul, then feel free to leave a comment or a review. We'll begin our installation under the vehicle here. I did ahead of time spray some silicone lubricant into these two holes on both sides. And these holes actually don't have threads in them. The hitch comes included with some self-tapping bolts, but something I recommend if you have one on hand is to use a tap. It's going to be M12 by 1.75 is our thread size. So if you do have a tap, just get that started by hand. Try to get it as straight as possible. And run it till it gets tight. And then take your ratchet or your tap handle. And I just like to at least get the threads started because it's really hard to get the bolt to want to be as flat as we need it. With a tap, it just makes it a little easier. So let's run that in and back out. Then we'll take our hardware, try to get that threaded in. Once you get it started correctly, you can take a ratchet to it and thread it all the way in and out a few times just until it's nice and smooth. Once you have all 4 of those holes to where you can pretty easily thread your bolt in and out, we'll move on to our back hole here. This is going to have a carriage bolt and a spacer block coming down through the frame. So what we'll do is use a fish wire, push your coiled end through the hole, out the back, slide your spacer block on and thread on your carriage bolt. Then I'll just tuck the spacer block up and pull down on your fish wire, and our carriage bolt drops down. Now you'll need an extra set of hand to lift the weight of the hitch up above your head, so I have my good friend Brad here to help me. We fed our fish wires through that back hole, and we'll just kind of guide it up, pull that bolt down, then you can take your fish wire off and thread on the nuts. Now with our carriage bolts holding the hitch up into place, we'll just get our back bolts threaded on. Just remember, we just made these threads, so you'll want to make sure that you get it as straight as possible still. Now we'll get our bolts tightened down with a 15mm socket. Then our back nuts will be a 19mm. We need to torque our hardware down to the specification listed in the instructions. If you don't have your own torque wrench, we do have some available here at eTrailer, or you could always rent one from your local auto parts store. Once you have all your hardware torqued down, that's going to do it for our look at and installation of the eTrailer custom fit hitch on our 2015 Ford Transit T250.